Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to Dungeon Nytes. Oh, we got some stuff brewing. Last time, our group returned back to town. Not only were they were greeted as the heroes that they were. They were taken through town. The entire town cheered for them. Harbin, the townmaster, along with Halia, the owner of the Miners' Exchange, aka the Bank of Phandalin, escorted them to what was formerly known as the Sleeping Giant and said, "Bam! Here, this is yours. You take this. This is your establishment now. Please be the Echo 5-6 of Phandalin. Stay here, be our defenders, help us turn this small, budding community into a major city on the map and a major influence on this region." And the party agreed. And they said, "We're not sure about the Echo 6 name, but we agree to stay here. We agree to take over ownership of this establishment and turn it into something useful for Phandalin." At the end of all those festivities, Harbin delivered some news to the party that had them go back to the townmaster's hall. Rydoff, who was mysteriously absent and notably absent from the Wave Echo Cave in Phandalin prior to the ending of the last adventure, was found on the road, frozen, battered, beaten to within an inch of his life, and saved just in time. And he was awake long enough when the party joined and met him down in the townmaster's hall to let them know the cause of his affliction was another dragon, and then passed out. And that is where we pick this up today. In the townmaster's hall, Rydoth laying there, half his body frozen in some type of magical ice that does not seem to be melting. His other wounds seem to be addressed for the time being, but Rydoth has now lost consciousness after delivering the news to all of you that there is a new dragon in the area. Harbin looks at you all. Did I hear him correctly? Did he just say dragon?
That's what I heard.
Probably judging by the ice, a frost dragon of some sort, but yeah.
Yeah. I thought you got rid of a dragon.
Probably a different dragon. The other dragon did poison. This dragon does ice.
It's definitely going to be a different dragon.
There's two dragons?
Yeah, two dragons.
Harbin, puts his hands on his head and he's... This is most disturbing.
Well, in fairness, we really are only contending with one, because the other one's gone.
Are you sure?
As far as we know. We did drive it off, but it's not dead.
Unless the dragons are friends, then they would work together.
We have so much work to do. We have to secure the town. How do you secure the town against a dragon? I don't even know what to do. Is Rydoth going to be okay?
I mean, I would get started on fortifying any way you can.
You mentioned taking stones from the ruins of the manor. That's a good start. I think maybe we could start there. We'll pull together a contingent and start work right away.
It's like you'll have plenty of manpower.
There is a crypt in there. If you are just removing that too, maybe give them a proper burial somewhere. They seem to be the Tressler family.
Yes.
Well, we can leave them on site. We're not going to destroy the entire building.
Some thought needs to be given into it. Yes, for certain, everything above ground could be salvaged. It's falling apart. It's caved in on itself. I mean,
I'm certain that Harbin, I'm certain that Harbin's more than capable of making the decisions on what should be done with the manor. Being respectful to the former owners and everything.
Of course, I mean, yes. Well, just
I wish we could ask Rydoth about this dragon, but it looks like we're gonna have to wait until he gets better.
As you look at Rydoth, you can see that his breathing is steady but seemingly labored. And it seems like some of the frost that is on the kind of left side of his body, almost if you stare at it long enough, seems to be creeping further into his body.
Leif tilts his head at the frost, and since we now know it's a frost dragon, would Leif be able to maybe tell a way that could possibly melt it?
Give me an Arcana check. I mean, you already failed one.
Second time.
New
to charm,
session, new try.
Maybe I should make the Arcana check.
I got a 21.
You got a 21.
Yeah.
So, looking at this ice again, closer, and seeing its ever so slight movement, almost as if the ice itself was alive, you draw deep in your memories, and you can't seem to recall seeing any ice like this in this realm. It must come from, the magic of the dragon, and you think to yourself that you need to find someone that has ties to other realms to explain more about this. And you think about your patron and trying to reach out to them again in hopes that they would give you information. If not, perhaps someone else from another realm might provide the information you seek.
It just kind of pauses and mutters something in Draconic, and then kind of goes quiet.
Well, I don't know if there's anything we can do for him here.
Yeah, I don't recognize the ice. It's definitely probably from the dragon's magic, so don't know a way to melt it yet. But we probably need to work a little fast.
Whatever you do, please. Rydoth has been essential here. He's very powerful. He cares very much for this land. We need to do something to help him. We've done all we can with the medicine that we know. If there's something that you could do to help, please, by all means, make this a priority.
Mysteria, have you ever seen anything like this in the Feywilds?
Have I?
Give me an Arcana check.
That would be dope.
What's the number?
7.
You vaguely remember seeing afflictions as a child from various elementals that would require special ointments to be healed. But you cannot recall anything about what is involved in that.
I do recognize this sort of thing, but I would probably have to meditate on it to find the proper answer.
Fair enough. Well, gives us something.
I hope that maybe Sahanin can guide me to the answer.
You mean to tell me we can't just put them next to a fire
It's
to melt the ice?
not that kind of ice.
Okay.
I have an idea, but I need to go pay a visit to someone.
Oh, I
By all means, do it. I mean, no, why are we standing around here? I have things to do. I'm going to leave and start to organize defenses. And he starts to walk out the door, and he turns back around. I don't know how to defend against a dragon. What do we even defend against a dragon with?
well,
Start with archers, maybe some crossbows.
We're already working on it.
I mean, yes, you are teaching archery to people in the village, but are there fortifications we can make?
Well, since dragons come from the sky,
ballistas.
yeah,
Those
Pardon?
things.
ballista or
Yeah. The giant crossbow things that you mount on castles.
I'll have to talk to Smithy and see if he even knows how to build such a contraption.
They're quite
I-
big.
Not even sure I know
Recommended.
how to build such a contraption.
If this dragon creates ice, that means it's going to bring cold. So if it attacks the city of Phandalin direct, we should possibly get your city involved in stocking up on wood in each building and ensuring that the roofs are shored up and sturdy.
Yes, okay,
Ice and snow weighs a lot. I should know.
okay. That's definitely it's definitely also a start. I can work with that. We'll start to work on the perimeter of Phandalin proper as a city, but also have individuals to make sure that they are shoring up their homes and continuing to take part in the training that you Ashin are providing. We'll double the incentive for them to do so.
It might be worthwhile to
Good.
have an additional scouting presence around the city to notify in case the dragon broaches line of sight near the city of Phandalin.
We've been talking about setting up different perimeter outposts around the place, but we haven't really. We'll make that a priority. Good call.
Towers are recommended.
well, you've got
We'll see what we can do.
plenty of manpower coming into town these days, so
Gives people a job to do.
We have more people than we know to do with. This might
Well,
give a chance for them to contribute. That,
Well, now
that would be
now you
good.
know what to do with them. Put them to work.
And if you need anyone to leave a friendly message for the dragon, I know Draconic. Like a big sign that says welcome.
We don't leave friendly messages for dragons. Do you remember what happened with the last one?
Harbin's
Yeah, that
just
was-
looking at you like, will that work?
No, that was
Oh.
me being somewhat sarcastic.
I've never seen a dragon. I don't know about these things.
They're really smart, so I mean they can read. But I don't think that would be a good thing to welcome them with that. They
I mean-
also probably think you're sarcastic.
Can you appease a dragon? Should we just offer food?
Ultimately, the dragon's gonna take whatever it wants unless you.
Could be a nice dragon,
Solve
but seeing
the
what it did to
issue.
Rydon, maybe not.
Yeah, I'm
Good
pretty sure
point.
we're not gonna make deals with this one.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go and but relay these orders and get the town in motion. I feel like I need to do something. I can't.
there
Right
are
on.
suggestions. They're your orders. You got this.
Yes, but you are the Echo 6. Your say in this town has weight. Me especially. You reclaimed me as the town master this town deserves and not what I was. I'm trying to do
But-
that justice.
So that you can be the town master. We're happy to help you, but this is your town.
All right. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna go now and do the things. And he turns around, opens the door, and as he's about to leave, almost looks over his shoulder to hesitate, and then looks forward and goes out the door and shuts the door. And it's just you now with the local kind of
medical healer and Rydoth.
We really need to change that name. The more I hear it, the more it sounds stupid.
Yeah.
I agree.
So we don't have any idea of what we can do for this for poor write-off.
Um,
Um,
Sirius said you might need to meditate on that, right?
Think so.
I'm
When you do, let me join you. Maybe we'll get an idea together.
I remember seeing things like that when I was younger in the Feywild, but I can't be too certain, and I don't want to pour energy into something that will ultimately fail.
Fair enough.
All
Well,
right.
where does that leave us to do?
I'm gonna go pay a visit to someone and see if they know.
Okay.
I have these gauntlets that we need to find out what they are.
Oh, that's
I
right.
can take care of that.
She'll
I'm
hand him
gonna
up.
go
Since we've
find
got
some
time.
meat.
You're gonna go find meat.
Meat.
All right.
All right.
Let's take the gauntlets back to the tavern. And
Well,
we
we
can
actually have the other place now. We actually have a residence to sleep at.
the tavern.
Yes, that's right. The other one's an inn.
Let's
We have
take
the-
these gauntlets back to the tavern.
Yes, we have the tavern. The other one's an inn. We're good.
It's-
Sorry.
It's all new terminology. It's okay.
So I will link back up with you guys at our residence.
At the tavern.
Sure.
Let's call it a tavern. Why not?
And I will make my way out of the townmaster's hall and across the green towards Edermath's.
And we're gonna go to the tavern.
Save me a drink.
There are drinks. They're all ours.
We're gonna follow
We're not gonna
Ashin.
drink the whole thing.
We're gonna follow Ashin as the rest of you make your way back down the street to the tavern. Ashin, where are you going?
I'm going to Master Edermath's.
Okay. How are you going to get there? Are you gonna cut across the green? Or are you
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
just
take
gonna
the
walk
roads?
across the green.
Okay. So as you make your way across the town center, you can continue to see more people. And people start to move around with a little bit more purpose. You see lines outside the Miners' Exchange. You see people coming in and out of the Lion Shield Coster. And as you make your way to the green, you are greeted with the familiar sight of these archery posts, which originally you had 10. Now there are 15, as the lead that you left in charge has taken the liberty of expanding the operation a bit. And as you make your way across the grass, you just kind of feel the wind across your body, almost in a bit of a chill, like a changing of the winds, so to speak. But also this kind of wonderful smell of the fields that just kind of centers you a bit more. And as you continue to walk, you see the familiar door of Rydoth's establishment. Edermath's home, his cottage outside his apple orchard. And it is lit on the inside, and it has a window open.
Seeing that the window's open, I'm still gonna knock on the door because I'm polite.
What?
Ah, yes. Just a minute. Just a minute. Be right there.
A moment later, the door opens. You can see Edermath standing there with a familiar teapot in his hands.
Ah, Sheen, I was hoping to see you. It's nice seeing you at this frequency. I was so lonely for so long. It feels nice to have friends come by again. Come in, come in, come in.
Master Edermath, I don't have time to come in.
Oh.
And you don't have time to be in either. I need you to come with me.
Ah, what troubles you, Asheen?
Is
Is
that
it your
tea
mark?
fresh?
What?
Is that apple tea?
It is.
Is it fresh?
Always.
Bring it with. I'll carry it.
And he gives you a very peculiar look and hands you the tea kettle.
Careful, it's hot. We'll go and fetch my cloak, and then I'll be right back.
And you see him go back behind the hallway and hear him shuffle real quick and comes back and he's got his kind of cloak over his shoulders and kind of clips it as he's walking out the door.
Okay. All right, I'm ready. Where are we going? What's
We're
so
going
urgent?
to the town. We're going to the town master's hall.
He looks like very
They
puzzled.
they found Rydoth.
And he just kind of blank stare at you and you can see the kind of light drain from his face as he's expecting the worst from you right now.
He is alive, but heavily affected by what we are assuming to be a dragon's magic.
You see a second of relief hit his face as the word dragon kind of lights a fire in his eyes and his expression becomes determined and resolute, and he just puts his hand on your shoulder.
Lead the way.
You both walk across the green once again, Edermath seeming to have a bit of a spring in his step that is normally not there, whereas he normally takes his time walking. His pace is noticeably quickened, almost where you don't realize the age that he normally shows is a factor. As you make your way over to the town master's hall, you open the door, and Edermath is able to see Rydoth just laying at a cot in one of the cells, continually treated by local kind of medical staff.
Oh, dear God. You say a dragon did this?
And he walks over to Rydoth and he kneels next to him and kind of starts to go for his hand, and as he reaches for his hand, he feels the icy cold magic of the frost and immediately recoils and looks at his own hands and starts to rub them together.
Oh, speak. You said a dragon did this?
He was conscious and stated that there was another dragon in the area. And that's basically the bulk of the information that we got from him before he entered the state that he's in now. So I'm hoping that maybe the smell of a familiar tea might jolt him from his slumber.
I mean, it's worth a try.
And he kind of looks over at Edermath and just kind of takes note of his breathing and his condition and looks at him very gravely.
Rydoth and I have been friends for a very long time. Have been on many adventures and have taken on many dragons. For a dragon to do this, he must have either been very much caught off guard, or this dragon is very powerful.
And he kind of moves the medical staff out of the way and looks at gashes across his chest and across his other arm and sees another one on his leg, and is just looking over very sternly, just extends his hand to you for the teapot.
I'm gonna hand him the teapot. And can I use Cure Wounds on the leg wound to see if I can close it and heal that wound?
Sure.
Okay. So I will do that.
Well, give me a medicine check first.
Okay. It's an 11.
Okay, as you look over at the rest of the wounds, you see that the medical staff has attempted to, stop bleeding by putting compresses on all of these kind of big marks, and you can see that they have kind of continued to bleed through, but you've been informed that the bleeding has stopped. You reach over and start to cast Cure Wounds on Rydoth's leg. And Edermath looks over at you. Huh. That's a good idea. Not many magic users here in this town. They've been treating this as normal wounds. And he puts the pot next to Rydoth's head, and he opens up the lid, and steam from the tea starts to rise, and you can smell that familiar apple tea just start to permeate the area. And Rydoth takes his hand and puts it on the unfrozen shoulder of Rydoth. It's all right, old friend. We're going to take care of you. And he lays his hands over the chest wounds of Rydoth, and you can see the familiar light of Cure Wounds also start emitting from his hands. And as he does that, I want you to roll for healing.
That's 6 points of healing. I rolled a 4.
So as you and Edermath start to try and cure the different portions of the wounds on his body, Ashin, as you look down at your hands and you see the magical light just emit over this leg gash, you can see from the outside in, it starts to close. And it continues to close. And you can see kind of the kind of gash itself start to raise up as the flesh is repaired by your magic. And while the wound is not completely closed, it is now like a 1.5 centimeter deep gash, where previously it was, a inch plus gap on his leg. And it seems that the bleeding has indeed stopped and that a healing has occurred. Very similarly, Edermath is able to close one of the 3 main gashes on his chest, and is able to continue to see healing happening on those other 2. And as you do, it seems like the labored breathing of Rydoth is becoming a bit more measured. It starts to become a bit more regular and calm. And you once again smell the tea. And you look intently at Rydoth. But he doesn't move. He doesn't even stir. Like he's completely gone from his body.
When I see her again, I'll talk to Asteria, and I know Bamir has similar abilities. We'll take turns and get the rest of these wounds healed. It seems that from our knowledge, I don't think that we're going to be able to remove this ice that's affecting him, but we can at least take care of the rest of the wounds to help further along the process. Master Edermath, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on him for a little while, I have a couple other things I need to do, and I will check back over here probably within the next hour or 2.
All right. He doesn't look at you. He just focuses intently on Rydoth. I feel like continuing to get these wounds healed is what we need to do.
I'll make sure somebody comes to relieve you, so it's not all you.
I'll be here. I'll be here. We have people back to man the orchard. I am no longer beholden there. I will stay with him. We
We should think. If you see Harbin, tell him to come back. We need to get him moved to someplace better than this. And he looks around at the cell. I know that they were just trying to do their best, but he needs to be comfortable.
So I have my own room in our establishment, and I would gladly give my bed to him.
Ah, I did hear about that. They gave you the sleeping giant.
We did. I don't think we've come up with a name yet.
Now, what was the sleeping giant? Regardless, I will let Harbin know that you have agreed to have him moved there. I think that would be a fine place for him.
Okay. Yep. I'll check back with you soon, and then I will make my way out and towards the smithy.
And Edermath, as you kind of start to leave, you see Edermath put his hand kind of in a cross pattern across his chest and kind of embrace his shoulder again and lean down. And Edermath whispers, "Just hang on, old friend. Hang on. We'll get you through this. Just like all the other times. Don't quit on me now, you son of a bitch." And then as you leave and shut the door, you make your way over to the tavern.
I might add that I'm looking for the town master while I'm walking.
As you walk around, you're keeping a keen eye out for Harmon, but you don't see him as you're making your way. You get to the tavern and you walk in. What have the rest of you been doing?
Identifying some gauntlets.
So as you walk in, you see the rest of the party around the main table. Bamir, what are you doing?
Identifying some gauntlets.
And what are they?
I don't know. I think they're gauntlets of ogre strength.
That sounds badass.
Is that right? I forget.
They are gauntlets of ogre strength.
Okay. And they make your strength 19. So these gauntlets give strength to whoever wears them. Almost as strong as a person could be.
That's
Godoruk
pretty
is-
fantastic.
Is sitting there eating meat, and he kind of
Give him a
perks
leaf.
up when he hears that. But he's not going to say anything.
Give him to Leif.
What's Asteria doing?
He gave me the gauntlets.
I gave him the gauntlets.
Should
I
probably
found
help
them
me.
in the bottom of
Should probably
the
help me with the ritual.
water.
So I cast Identify as a ritual, so I don't have to use a spell slot.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, I mean, we have time, so
So
That's fine.
uh,
What is Leif? What have you been doing?
Well, they've been doing that while Godor's been eating, and then they were figuring out where the gauntlets were. Lake was just kind of sitting, or like leaning behind the tavern, almost like a barkeep would, but he's just kind of idly in thought, twirling water around with shape water in the air.
Where's Droop?
Droop stayed at the tavern, and he is currently behind the bar, examining all the different things behind the bar. There's tankards, there's other cups, there's plates, there's multiple different types of drinks, and he's just smelling them and looking at them and trying to figure out what it is that he wants to do with all these things. Look at all this stuff. We didn't have any of this stuff before. What are we supposed to do with all this stuff? Oh, hi, Asheen. Hey, guys. Asheen's back.
Droop, I actually need you to do me a favor.
Huh?
Yeah.
What do you need me to do?
It's very important.
Okay.
Do you think you could do it?
I mean, yeah.
I need you to find Harbin, the town
You-
master. You remember him, right? Big guy,
Yeah.
kind of plump.
Fat old guy. Yeah, got it.
I need you to find him and bring him here.
Okay. I'll go get my cloak.
And Droop runs upstairs to his little room, and you see him just like scamper up the steps and run across and grab, like rifling through his little pile of things, and grabs a cloak and puts it on himself. Makes sure to tuck his ears in and goes and runs back down the steps.
Okay, I'm ready. Go find Fat Man, bring him here. Got it.
And he walks out the door. Doom.
Leif kind of he raises an eyebrow after that, looks at Sheen, then freezes the water into like an ice cube and puts it in a glass. Sheen, you said you wanted a drink, right?
Yeah. Dude. I'm just gonna pour some of the good stuff into the glass.
So, have we thought of a better name at all?
I don't know what's wrong with Bemir's champions.
Nothing's wrong with it. It just isn't good.
I mean, I
Everything's wrong
I
with
see
it.
plenty wrong with it.
Anyway, go to work. You've been eating for a while. Have you thought of anything while eating?
Well, I like to hit things with my fist, so we could be the fist of Phandalin. You just
Go to
keep
work.
eating.
When did you have good ideas?
It doesn't have the same ring as the Bemir's champions.
I mean,
Hey,
I'll vote for it. Not Bemir's champions. Definitely not that.
I don't know.
I'm
you
also
can't say
keen on
this.
Bemir's champions.
Just gonna look at y'all quizzically because he just threw that out. But keep eating.
I do not want to be Bemir's champion, so I'm all for the Fist of Phandalin.
Yeah, I was totally kidding. I like the Fist of Phandalin a lot better.
Oh, come on, guys.
Well,
Fine, we can be the Fist of Phandalin.
Sounds a lot cooler.
definitely tell Harbin
also,
that.
also known as Bemir's champions in subtext.
Hey, I'm writing history, okay?
Oh, man.
So, then, I guess that means we need to probably rename the Stone Hill Inn, whatever this is called. Stone Giant? I don't know. We were here once. Anyway, new name.
We could.
Godorith's gonna point over to the wall. When they were here earlier and he signed the thing in his blood, he wiped the blood handprint on a wall. And so there's just the ogre or orc handprint. He goes, well, there's 5 fingers on a wall over there.
So, 5 fingers, like, he used 5 fingers to hold a drink, so...
Well, I was thinking more. There's 5 fingers in a fist.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I don't know. You
So,
wanna go
so
back
what?
to eat?
The 5 Finger Tavern?
I don't know.
We're at a tavern.
I'm in.
Well, Godric had good ideas.
Hey, Godoric, what are you eating? I'm kind of hungry.
I just asked for meat.
Right, but what is it?
I think it's goat. It's kind of stringy.
Let me get some. I'm gonna walk over and like just grab a piece right off his plate
Sure.
and eat it.
You're
It's
lucky. I like
dangerous.
you.
As you guys are sitting and eating, you see the door. You kind of hear a big clang, thump, on the door, and then you see the door fly open, and you see Halia, and she is escorting Droop, and kind of has part of his cloak, like in her hand, and she's walking him fervently back into the tavern. So I was walking from the Miners' Exchange to try and take care of some business when I saw this Droop wandering aimlessly about the street, not having a single clue what he was doing. I'm not sure if you're aware, but this is a goblin in the middle of a town that was just accosted by goblins. Probably not the best of ideas to send him out into the world by himself. Never you mind that he is part of the group that has saved the town. No one knows what the goblin looks like. He's always wearing the cloak.
They met him yesterday with his cloak off, hood down.
I'm still not convinced.
Was he not wearing the cloak?
He was. So
If
he's got the cloak
I
on.
noticed that he is a goblin walking around in a cloak, I would think that others are going to notice that there is a goblin walking around our town in a cloak.
Well, maybe they just don't care.
Yeah, you guys probably should have announced that Droop is a thing.
I'll make note of that, and I will talk to Harbin about it. That being said, please don't let him go unchaperoned through the city unless you want him dead.
Oh,
Fair
that
point.
reminds me.
No
do you know where-
offense,
Do
Drew.
you know where Harbin is?
I do not. Yeah, I saw him walking out somewhere. Why? Do you need him?
Yes.
What could you possibly need Harbin for? She's very
Stuff.
clearly showing her dismissiveness as him as a town master at this point.
Leif interjects.
What do you know? What do you need Carbon for?
So, okay. So, I went and talked to Master Edermath, and he is currently sitting with Rydoth. And he and I are in agreement that Rydoth deserves better treatment than sitting in a jail cell.
I heard about
So-
Rydoth.
So, I have offered my bed here in our establishment for him to recuperate.
Well, that's very
that-
kind of you.
That being said, now that we have a moment, Bamir, Asteria, Rydoth and myself have already worked to close some of his wounds, and I believe it may be in Rydoth's best interest if we take turns possibly using some of our abilities to close some of his wounds.
Oh. Yeah, I should have thought of that. It's almost like I was distracted last time I was there, I guess. That there was some sort of interruption.
So I need to get Harbin back to the Town Master's Hall, and then we will discuss the logistics and get him moved over here.
So
Yeah.
she looks at you. Yeah, yes, this is something that I can have done. You don't need Harbin for that. Also, have you...
We
thought
should
of a
let
new
him
name?
know.
Have you thought of a new name for your group or for this establishment? I know it's only been a few hours, but
Yes, we did.
might as well ask. Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Apparently, they weren't happy with Bamir's champions, so
So go to
we're
Rook.
known now as the Fist of Phandalin, thanks to Godoric's amazing imagination.
And we're renaming the tavern
Okay. To what?
to the Five Finger Tavern. Also thanks to Godoruk.
She's just going to kind of rub her head and her temple a moment.
Or you could go with the Goblin's Den.
And she's going to close her eyes. And okay. Let me get this straight. So you would like to rename from the Echo 6 to the Fist of Phandalin.
Right.
Has its ring to it, a little bit intimidating, little sense of adventure. I do like that. You guys have defended us from many a situation at this point. Very fitting. I actually approve. Not that you need it, but we can make sure that the word gets spread out for you. And as of renaming the tavern, you're calling it a tavern now. Does that mean you want to make it a tavern? Don't answer that. I just want to confirm the 5-finger tavern because of fist.
Correct.
Yeah, there's five fingerprints on the wall over there.
She just kind of looks over.
We're going to leave the bloody handprint there, but
We're going to clean that as it's
We will.
clearly a health violation.
let's so who doesn't mind the little blood? But
She's just going to
That's
glare
a
at you.
tavern.
We will clean it.
yes, please.
It
We
will be
please
cleaned off
clean
the
it.
wall. I'll drop some designs for signage. Do any of you know how to run a tavern? She kind of looks at
in-
Bamir and looks at the rest of you and is kind of taking note in her head. You can see her basically going,
I
might
mean,
know
I
a
have,
Elf warrior,
I have,
green lady.
I have helped run a tavern before.
Oh, have you? Are you going to be manning this establishment?
I was actually thinking we could probably see if Toblin wants to help for a share of the profits.
Huh. She collects her thoughts.
Since obviously we won't be sticking around here if we're going to have to deal with everything else going on.
Yes, I heard there's a dragon.
Oh,
Word
that
travels
does get
fast.
around fast.
Word travels fast when you're me. So that's an interesting idea. You would like for Toblin to run affairs here at the inn, or at
tavern.
the tavern, as well as his at the inn. His inn has been at a disadvantage lately due to the influx of patrons and citizens of Phandalin without anywhere else to go. That could take some stress off of him and give him the ability to also earn some more money. Toblin's a good man. I like where your head's at with this. Are you all in agreement with this? As naturally there would be need to have paperwork drawn up to solidify this agreement. We would need to talk with Toblin. He would obviously be getting a share of profits and also setting up a various number of accounts for acquisitions and upkeep and payroll. You would need to hire people. I'm assuming you would have Toblin do that. Lots of things indeed, but you're all in agreement that we should take this newly renovated space, renovate it again, and make it a tavern.
Yes.
I have no complaints.
We would like
Well,
to
just change it a little bit. I think.
Yeah, we still have the bar intact here. We can even leave this table and just kind of move it over and set up some other tables in the area.
I'm wondering. Yes. This is a tavern. We could actually move the job board here. We could make this into a center point of town, unlike before. This is very good. Very good work. Very good work. The Fist of Phandalin have the home at the 5-Finger Tavern. Adventurers welcome. Has a ring to it.
Haley, I have a question. So, is anybody keeping track of the influx of people into the city?
Well, of course.
I am looking for 3 people.
A particular 3 people or just any 3 people?
Particular 3 people.
Okay.
It was a young fellow and his parents.
Yes.
Came from Neverwinter. Hopefully they came here.
Aye, they did.
Okay.
They have been working at, believe, at a Math's Orchard for a little while.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else? I have lots to do.
I think that's more than enough. You've been great help to us.
Well, I'm
As
just
always.
trying to make sure that this town makes progress. Big plans for Phandalin do all of us have. And while Harbin is the face of this town, I tend to manage all of its coin. So most of these things are going to hit my desk eventually, and I just want to make sure that we're taking care of it properly, and I will see to it that all things are done. Rydoth will be brought here. I will drop the paperwork for you and for Toblin. Are you going to talk? Have you talked to Toblin about any of this at all, or is this all conjecture?
Well, like
Spur
you
of the
said,
moment.
like you said, it's only been a couple of hours, so
Well,
these are all
Well-
just kind of ideas.
Very
We'll
spur
make
of the
it,
moment.
we'll make our way over there because I would like to refill my flask of the good
Eventually,
stuff.
I think we've got some business to take care of first. I think.
well, I can have someone go and summon Toblin to come here if you
Well,
wish
we
as
don't.
well.
We don't need to. We'll make it over there shortly.
All right, I will drop these papers, and perhaps I could meet you there by sundown, which is, in a few hours' time.
Yeah, but maybe make some time, Haley. We could sit down and have dinner while we sign paperwork.
I would actually really like that.
You kind of deserve a break. You go breakneck pace all the time.
There is no stop. You know that, Leif. We are very, very busy here in this town, and the town never sleeps. So if I'm not on top of everything, things are not going to happen. It'll be fine.
This is why you delegate.
Oh, I delegate plenty. More than you know. And she turns immediately and then walks out to start going about her business.
Okay.
Well, on that
Godric,
note-
can you get your pack over here?
What?
Pulls out the giant sack of money he's been storing in it. Starts divvying it out amongst all of the party members. It's time we took some of this out of Godric's hands and put it in everybody's. So I'm gonna split the party loot here so that you all have money to spend on things.
okie dokie.
Basically, you all get 142 gold worth of coins. It's gonna be 2 platinum, 73 gold, 63. Well, I'll post it in the chat. thingy.
Should we just
Yeah, just-
convert it? Or okay.
Well, I guess we could.
Just convert it into raw gold, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless the DM has an objection about currency conversion.
You could have Halia convert that for you quite easily.
Do we need to RP that, or can we do that in the background?
You can have that done in the background.
All right.
Okay.
So 142 gold
142 gold and 9 silver pieces.
and 9 silver pieces. Okay.
Much like you have done in the past, if you make your way down to the Miners' Exchange with a sum of goods, Halia can make sure that they are either stored there and kept for safekeeping or have them exchanged for any format that you wish. So, yes, you're fine.
So 142 and 9.
Yep. 142 gold, 9 silver.
If we get a moment, Bamir, could I borrow you for a few?
What do you need? We need to go talk to Toblin.
It'll be after that. After we talk to Toblin, you and I'll break off from the group.
What's this about?
I'll tell you on the way.
Oh, okay.
Leif kind of
Awkward.
puts the gold away, looks at Bamir. Oh, and the gauntlets that you got? You said they make people strong?
Yeah.
Give them to Godric.
Well, yeah.
You just hit things harder now.
I mean, I don't need to be any stronger if the people ask me to do stuff.
No, Bamir, you're just here to look pretty. And Ashin's just gonna flash a smile at him a little bit.
And on that lovely note, I'm gonna take a walk.
Leif, as you start to walk out, Bamir, you hand these gauntlets to Godoruk. Godoruk, these gauntlets seem to be made of an extremely hard metal. Something different than anything else that you've held or seen. And as you kind of slide them onto your fists, it's almost like they adjust to your hand and your forearm size and kind of contour to you. What does that feel like?
He feels like he wants to punch a wall, feeling the power flow through him, but he doesn't. He's just gonna kind of take a look at him, play with him, and flex his hands and give him a good, make sure they fit good, get ready for some punching.
Despite them looking and feeling heavy when they were handed to you, you feel now like they're incredibly light now that you have them on your hands. And over the next hour, as you kind of attune to these gauntlets, you will continue to feel almost like your muscles are surging with energy. And you feel your forearms first start to tighten as they expand, and then your biceps and shoulders and chest. And you kind of stand up a bit taller. Your posture seems to change as your strength is now enhanced to 19 as long as you wear this. No, he did not skip leg day. His whole posture changed. His orc thighs are swole.
We call him Twiggy.
He's not a chicken leg. He's got calves.
He's feeling good, feeling good.
And with that, the group walks outside together. Or are you going to... Leif walked outside. Leif is going for a walk. Leif, where are you going?
Let me really quickly. There's the map of Phandalin. So he's kind of gonna actually wander to the east, south of Tresnor Manor, into the forest.
Okay. And what are
And-
you doing?
Yeah, while out there, he kind of finds a small clearing, and he kind of remembers what he was thinking about earlier with the dragon's magic, and he unsheaths Talon and plunges it straight down into the ground, a few inches, that way it stays still, and he just kind of sits down in front of it and kind of looks at it for a minute. And then after a few minutes pass, kind of reaches out to his patron.
As you kind of seem to stare into the pommel of this sword, you kind of begin to feel the world around you slow down. And as your eyes open, you begin to notice this familiar sensation of blackness starting to surround you. And when it does, you feel a familiar voice pop into your head.
Oh, hi, Leif. I can feel you reaching for me. It's been a while. I've been busy. You have been busy. It's been so much fun watching you. What can I do for you today?
So we're on a one-sided first name basis now. I am now Leif, and you are now a mysterious entity with a voice.
Well, of course. I am your patron after all. That's what you can call me.
Fair. Seeing as how that you kind of gave me some interesting powers that seem to affect being able to use swords, kind of figured out that you are probably some sort of exploit.
Oh,
From the Shadowfell.
I am of many things, and of course, as you might have suspected, through our first conversation, of course, I am from the Shadowfell. All patrons come from here, and you, being touched so very young by the fell itself, had drawn me to you. I thought I explained this.
Yeah,
Again.
a lot's been going on, but it really hasn't felt like been super useful outside of when it first happened.
Oh,
Just saying.
I'm sorry. Did you not throw an eldritch blast to the back of a poor, hapless Redbrand? Did you not use my power countless other times to no avail? Listen, your ability to hit things is not a reflection of my ability to give you power.
Fair point. Just like I said, it's kind of near the beginning. Since then, I mean, it seems more like the part of the Shadowfell that I originated from, with the whole darkness and things, and I kind of got tainted by that. You know, lovely place, the Shadowfell. It seems like. Anyway, just seems like that's been kind of overtaking your powers, so I think they're kind of fighting.
You think you're not compatible with the sword anymore? Is that what I'm hearing?
A little bit. It seems like the Shadowfell part of me that's just inherently there isn't really agreeing with the kind of powers that you bestowed.
Well, we made a pact, Leif. So I'm gonna be a part of you for a long, long time. However, let me, with your permission, reach deeper inside and further examine this power.
I mean, just kind of hoping that we weren't going to do that, but since you are now basically going to be here just like the Shadowfell kind of does at this point, guess it can't really get any worse. Sure.
Nothing is free.
Oh, Leif. Nothing has ever been free. And it's only gonna get so much better.
And Leif, you feel all of a sudden as if you had control of your body before in this state, and you felt light and almost as if you were in kind of an astral projection, right? Where you had full awareness of what was going on. You now feel your body lock and you can't move. You are completely paralyzed. You can't even move your eyes. You're fixated purely on the pommel as you feel this energy infiltrate the center of your being and start to pulsate. And it's almost painful. You feel your chest start to expand and contract. And as you do, each time it starts to get more painful, almost like you're gonna tear apart from the inside out, and that feeling starts to extend further into your limbs and your arms and your legs and your face, and you start to feel your head just almost to the point where it's going to pop, and you want to scream, but you can't. You want to pass out. but you can't. And then you feel all of that feeling subside.
Are you still with me, Leif? Oh, I know you are, but I felt compelled to ask anyway. That hurt just a teeny bit, didn't it?
Can I talk now? Am I allowed to move now?
Slowly you feel your consciousness and the paralysis leave your body as you hear his voice inside your head.
Just kind of clutches at his chest. Okay, that was worse than being lit on fire.
Oh, but like I told you, so much better. I'll give you credit for knowing yourself, Leif. You're right. You were not particularly keen on blades, and imbuing you with power of the Hexblade into that wonderful, wonderful sword that you picked up at the Lion Shield Coster was maybe not the right move. After digging around inside, I found, yes, your true calling is a deeper magic. Although I sense an interesting inhibition within you. The previous touch with the Shadowfell has left you unable to play with fire, am I right?
Yeah, that's kind of why my skin is like ice, and my entire life energy is not the strongest. Shadowfell kind of does that to you, as you should know.
Well, of course I know. I'm just asking because it's fun. Anyway, so I kind of did a thing while I was poking around inside your whole being. You should notice when you are returned to consciousness, you should probably take a nap. Nay, you should probably take, some type of a sleep. And when you wake up, I'm quite confident that you're going to like what I've done to you. Much more this time. You're going to notice that that previous force that you were able to wield as part of being a hex blade is now going to be gone. But not completely. It's going to have changed and is going to have morphed into more natural abilities to suit you better. You're still not going to be able to play with fire, but what you can play with is so much better. Try casting Fireball when you awake and see what happens. I'll be watching. Is there anything else that I can do for you today as your benevolent patron?
I just need to really stop trusting things so easily, don't I? But I guess thank you. Don't really have a choice at this point, but hey, you're not slowly killing me inside yet, so there's that.
Oh no, I would never. I told you before, we have so many plans and so much fun we're going to be able to have together, Leif. I would never hurt you.
Well, that's good. So
any more
that's
than I did.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a price that has to be paid for any of these gifts. And they are gifts, Leif. Don't mistake them for anything different. You might have been a bit too trusting of some things, but it was not a mistake to form the pact with me, I promise you.
Well, if I ever go to the Shadowfell, we can have tea or something. But besides that, I have one last question.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So, there's a druid. His name is Rydoth. Quite sassy old man, but it looks like that there's a frost dragon about, and kind of wondering if there's any way you can help with getting rid of the ice magic adhering to his body, because it's not melting. But ice is kind of my thing.
You want to know how to thaw the frozen. this, as we've discussed, is going to come at a price. Leif, I will contact you again soon and let you know what that is.
This whole price thing? Going to
What,
assume
did
it's
you-
not gold.
You expect me to do this for free? You think I have use for money?
That was a joke. Sarcasm. I thought this goes both ways at this point. First name basis.
I was not expecting that from you, to be very honest. You have a naivete about you, Leif, that has always been very endearing, but you're growing up and I like that, so that was funny. No, of course, I have no use for money. I will be contacting you with a price soon, and I will be able to shortly restore your friend. I'm just going to need some time to collect some things before we do.
All right. Well, I guess good talk.
Ta-ta.
And with that, you feel the darkness of the fell recede from the world around you, and your focus on the pommel seems to go from kind of haze into focus once again, and you feel yourself just kind of drained at this point. Almost like you have lost half of your hit points. And you should lose half your hit points. And you feel awful. Like
Going around up or down?
down.
I have odd number.
Yeah, the your body at this point, the feeling that you got from your limbs and your head almost exploding really has returned in some way, where during the end of the conversation with your patron, your body had really just like it seemed to relax and was almost like you were on morphine. That has now gone, and you are feeling the full effects of what has ravaged the inside of all of your being, and every single bit of you hurts a lot.
Kind of staggers up and winces a bit. Okay, yep, still definitely worse than being lit on fire. And he goes to put his hand on Talon.
And when you do, you feel nothing.
Kind of blinks for a second. Guess it's already starting. He picks up Talon and she's kind of stretches a bit and kind of not limps, but definitely is not super keen on walking from the forest all the way back to town.
As you walk, you feel your muscles kind of start to expand and loosen a little bit as you restore, and the movement seems to come to you easier, though the pain is still very present.
Just walks back to town and thought.
Leif, you wander out of the forest, just absolutely physically devastated. You have, as we agreed during the break, a level 4 exhaustion, which has removed half of your hit points and is going to require a considerable amount of rest for you to recover completely from what has just happened inside your body. And where is it that you are wandering back from the forest?
I would like to say Leif honestly has no idea, just wandering back to town. But he's kind of wandering just back into town. He has no direction. He's kind of a little out of it.
As you are walking, kind of stumbling down one of the streets, you see a familiar small being run up to you.
Oi! Are you okay, mister?
Oh gosh, what was your name?
It's
yeah,
me, Pip.
no. Oh, yes, Pip. Sorry, it's been a day.
Mister,
Yeah,
you don't
well-
look so good.
Yeah, things happened. I'm okay. Just very tired
Do you need
and in
help?
pain. Sure. Just where is your father's inn?
It's over here. How about I take your hand and you just come with me and it'll be all right. All right?
His hand is ice cold as always.
Jeez, Mister, you're really cold.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Okay, come on. And Pip is going to lead you kind of down the street and over to the Stonehill Inn. And as you are doing so, where's the rest of the group at this point? As Leif had taken his walk, you guys were still in the newly monikered Five Finger Tavern.
I think once we finished splitting up the gold, we were going to head for Toblin.
So we'll say that you guys were able to kind of make your way over to the inn and you are now inside. Does anybody want to do anything before you guys got to the inn? Or are you all staying as a group?
Yeah, gonna do it after.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
you said,
after.
Ashin, you had
Or
said
me.
that you wanted to tell Bamir something on the way there.
No,
the
no,
smithy.
on after there.
Yeah, he wants to be as mysterious as possible so
Okay.
that Bamir is more freaked out.
Secret agent Ashin.
Secret tunnel. All right. So as you make your way over to the inn, you walk in, and the inn once again, as it is approaching dinner time, is just hustle bustle out the rear. Just people everywhere. It just is pandemonium in this place. Everyone in this town is needing some place to go for dinner, and it seems like most people are trying to come here. You see Toblin and Trelena and Elsa just running around like crazy trying to make sure that they get everything addressed properly. And as you walk in, Toblin sees you. Hi! Just, to find a place anywhere and sit down and I'll be with you as soon as I can. And you see Toblin's like hair is a mess and he's like just hustling, bustling. He looks like he's having a good time, but he's definitely overwhelmed.
Well, I thought we were going to get there before dinner. Oh, well.
Eh,
Dinner time in the town of Phandalin starts at probably like 3:30 and doesn't end till close to 9.
Oh, Jesus.
Because they're miners, right? So people are on different schedules. So you have people that are working through the night that are now kind of getting ready to go in for more of an evening shift, so they're trying to eat before they get in, and other people that have just gotten done with shifts in various mines or workings that are now trying to get food, and that continues kind of on an hourly basis until later on in the evening.
I'm gonna take out my my flask. I need a fill up.
We have to find a table. He's waiting. We have to wait for him.
Is the bar stuffed?
The bar is stuffed. All tables are stuffed. Essentially, the only place that you're able to find that is uninhabited is a small corner kind of up towards the bar near the stairs. And it's not even a table. It's literally a spot where there just isn't people. And you are kind of looking around for someone to leave, kind of like you're hunting down someone walking from a store in a parking lot trying to wait to get their space after they're done. Like, that's what you're doing right now.
Well, we could always go to that back room.
I'm gonna look at Goderic. And I'm gonna say, make a hole.
Don't know. Don't cause a scene. We're supposed to be the heroes of this place, not the bullies.
Well, you're not wrong. But I need a refill.
Get a damn refill. Hold your damn horses. It's just dinner time, okay? Somebody's gonna be getting up pretty soon. Don't be like
Ashin,
that.
you can wait for your refill.
As you kind of are looking around, the table nearest you is filled with a group of a couple dwarves, and they look up at you. Oi! You them Echo 6?
No, we're gonna be going by the Fist of Phandalin. It's Echo 6 is old news. Fist of Phandalin, new thing.
Yo. Hey. Gimli, look. It's the Echo 6.
That's Fist of Phandalin. Rebranding. New marketing strategy.
Listen, I'm about done with my my meat here. Gimli, we should get the feck out of here and I don't know, maybe go start the shift. What you say? Gimli just looks over. And he raises his tankard to you, downs it, smacks it on the table, and he stands up and just
Great.
kind of gestures.
Yeah, you be careful in the mine there after you've had all that alcohol.
Oh, never you mind me, I'm a dwarf. Or couldn't you see? Of course you could see.
Yeah,
I'm just messing with you. You know, good on you, Echo 6. You've done a great service for this town.
Yeah.
We'll be out outside. We'll see you around. Just enjoy the table. It's fine.
Thank you very much. From the Fist of Phandalin.
As he looks back, the Echo 6, everyone. Look,
Fist.
Look,
Yeah, Fist.
give them some love, and the whole
It's
kind
gonna
of
take some
place starts to
time.
look back.
We're just yeah.
And you
Thanks.
hear people in the back. To
we're
the
good,
Echo
good.
6.
Fist of Phandalin. Bamir sits down.
Hey,
Sit down.
Godor, can you do me a favor and yell really loud that our name is the Fist of Phandalin?
It'll catch on eventually. You don't need to scare the people. Jesus.
Yeah, well, what you were doing wasn't working.
You're
We
muted.
can't hear
Corrupt.
you. Corrupt.
Yeah, he's totally muted.
Came unplugged. Yay. Great. No, he's not going to listen to Bamir whatsoever and just yell it as loud as he possibly can.
Give me a
Performance check?
That's an intimidation.
Give me a charisma check.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, hey, those points you put in that charisma.
That should pay off, right?
I don't have a plus anything. I just don't have a minus either. He got a 16.
All right.
All right. Goderic, as you kind of listen to Ashin, you walk over to the bar, and with kind of your hand, you go to kind of climb up on top of the bar, and with your new gauntlets, you like literally put your fingers through the edge of the bar and leave finger marks, and it makes a loud just bang as the wood just crumbles underneath your hand, and you're just kind of looking, and the sound is enough to draw everyone's attention to you, and everything stops and everybody just looks, and all eyes are on you.
I'm going to raise a fist and say, from here on out, we are known as the Fist of Phandalin, and then roar. I'm not going to do because I have neighbors.
Silence in the inn. Everyone just kind of processes for a second, their eyes wide. Toblin is looking at you, kind of looking at the bar, looking at you. Oi! Why is everybody so glum? The Fist of Phandalin's in the house! You best get your goblets up and start drinking! And with that, everything comes back into play. It's like, it's all back on, all bets are off. And it's like, the Fist of Phandalin! To the Fisters! And it's just like, yes.
Oh, no.
And you just start hearing chants from Sir Dale. Fast, 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 fast.
Well, that just
Not
became a
the
thing.
fisters. Not
That
the
just became a
fisters.
thing.
Why'd you do this to us?
They're drunk. It's fine.
God.
Just wait
Toba
to
makes
see
his
what
way.
they do with the 5-finger in tavern.
You want 5 fingers in? What? Anyway, the tavern
5 fingers in.
walks over to your table. Well, Mr. Godrak, you seem to have left a bit of a hole in me bar there, but you know, it's fine. We'll get it fixed. What can I do for you today? You need me to have Jerry whip you up some food? You want some drink?
Actually, I was wondering if we could borrow you for a couple minutes.
Oh, aye. What you need?
I'll sit down here for a second.
He
I'm
kind of
still not
looks
back yet,
around and
correct?
No.
he kind of looks around, and as he does, he's looking for an open chair, and there is not one.
Well,
And he says, best we take this in the back." And as you guys are walking, you see Leif walk in, looking like death, being led by Pip. And Pip, Dad, Mr. Leif needs your help. And Tobin just kind of looks over, and the rest of the party sees Leif. Leif at this point, who is already noticeably pale, looks beyond pale. Like his features are sunken in a good bit. Like you can see clearly defined cheekbones, eye sockets. You can see veins that are icy blue running through his face. And you can see him kind of staggering a bit, almost like the life was drained from his body and he is a walking corpse.
I'm gonna walk over and like get up under his arm and take Leif's arm over my shoulders and just take the brunt of his weight.
Yep. Thanks.
What
Kind of
what
not the
happened?
same. Long story. Okay, now
You wanna-
remember how I got
you
lit
okay?
on fire?
Let's
Yeah,
let's
like
let's
my
go
insides.
let's go talk in the back.
Is he
Uh,
gonna
are
be
you-
all right? Do we need to get the doctor?
I'm gonna make a medicine check on him. Not that I'm super great at it, but
Leif, you're
Not-
looking like death. And Tobin's
I got
gonna
a
kind of
16.
continue to usher you guys into the back. With a 16 Bamir, you can see that Leif is exhausted looking. And as you just saw him probably 30 minutes to an hour ago, you are very confused as to why it is that he is exhausted after such a short period of time.
did you wrestle a dragon or something? Jeez.
Yeah, that might have been easier. Can someone
All
help me
right,
take
let's
this
go.
chainmail off?
Let's go into the back.
This is heavy.
I will assist in removing the chainmail off of him.
But don't strip him down here. Let's get in the back.
You make your way into the back room, and as you do, you can start to kind of remove your cloak and your chainmail from your body.
All right. Well, they work on whatever's going on with him. I don't want to take too much of Toblin's time, so Toblin.
Tobin's just kind of looking very concerned. Seriously, Mr. Leif, are you all right? Because you look like death. Not even warmed over. You just look like death.
He kind of just collapses to sit down, kind of in a chair. First off, I am never warm. Second, I'll be fine. Just probably need some rest.
You know what? Give me a moment. I think I got something to help. And Tobin runs out and runs back in and just brings in a jug. And this jug is aptly marked with 3 X's. Listen here, Mr. Leif. I know you haven't been partial to the drink because you don't do much of it, but I'm telling you right now, you drink some of this, it's going to snap you right back in.
Ashin holds his flask out. I'm ready for more good stuff.
And he kind of fills your flask up and reaches over to a nearby goblet and just pours something to Leif and just pushes it in front of you.
It's probably going to make him pass out, but
Well, maybe he needs the rest.
Leif kind of gives it a look, looks at Toblin. You're joking? This is a joke. We've had lots of jokes today.
No,
I assume this is a
absolutely
joke.
not a joke. I'm telling you, if you're feeling like shite, nothing's better than my good stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'll pass for now. I appreciate the hospitality, but I think they had something to talk to you about.
Consider it an elixir of vitality.
That's not what I felt when I drank it. I did not feel vitalized. I felt violated.
Oh,
Sometimes
come
I-
now. The good stuff is much better than that.
I'm gonna take a drink.
I very much appreciate. Anyway,
This
okay,
has been
anyway,
refined
all right.
over many years.
Look, Toblin. Look, we want to put that expertise to use. Okay?
Okay.
You know that we've recently taken over what was formerly known as the Giant's Elbow, or what was it?
Oh yeah, you took over the Sleeping Giant.
Yeah, Sleeping Giant. We would like to rename it the Five Finger Tavern, and we were wondering if you would like to enter into some kind of business arrangement where you run said tavern for us for a percentage, probably generous percentage of the profits from said establishment.
And Toblin, as he had kind of sat down and was kind of staring intently at Leif, just really hoping that you kind of trying to figure out what the hell's going on with him. He's been kind of nodding his head like, okay, all right. And as soon as he's like, tavern following, yeah. And as soon as he hears that you want him to take ownership, you can see his eyes just get big, and he takes a deep breath. I mean, really, I'm honored. You want me to take over the tavern for you and run it? Oh,
I mean, obviously, you've been very good to us here. We've experienced your hospitality firsthand, and we all agree that we feel like we would like you to bring that same hospitality to the Five Finger Tavern, and feature some of your maybe a variety of different drinks there in addition to the good stuff. Obviously a variety other drinks would also be there as well, but I'm sure there's a market for the good stuff there too. But
The dwarves like it.
You were the first one we thought of when we figured we might turn it into a tavern.
On that note, is Jerry available? I have a proposition for him.
Yeah, I think Jerry's off tonight, but I can certainly get you in touch with him. Wait, so you want me to run the tavern? Oh, I mean, he kind of just internalizes a little bit. You can see the wheels turning. Listen, that's a generous offer. I mean, things have been incredibly busy here at the inn. What with all the influx of new people coming to Phandalin, it's been right impossible to keep everybody handled here. We need more help. We need more space. That could certainly do it. You know what? Give me a minute.
Yeah,
And
take your time.
He goes
Maybe
out.
talk it over with the wife.
Yeah, as you say that, he's walking through kind of the swinging door, and kind of comes back a moment
Haley's
later.
gonna be here in like a couple hours to sign some paper. No,
He can't hear it. Yeah.
yeah, I know.
So he brings in his wife. So Lana, newly renamed Fist of Phandalin here. They want us to run the tavern. They want to turn the Sleeping Giant into a better tavern, and they want us to run it. It's a really good opportunity. We're gonna certainly need some help, but it's my dream to run a tavern, but we couldn't do anything here because the Sleeping Giant was already here. So we didn't want to encroach on turf we made this in, which was always your dream. Dear, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you think we could do this? And she just kind of looks at him first in a little bit of shock, and then with kind of a loving kind of gaze, she goes, "You know what, Toblin? I think it's a fine idea. I think that it would be lovely to get some more help. I think it would be great to expand our influence in the town. Everyone loves you. It would certainly take pressure off the inn. This place is turning into a bit of a bear to keep clean and equipped and people fed on a regular basis because there's no other place for them to go in town. I think if you were able to turn that tavern into a right proper drinking place, that would take care of a good bit of the problems here. A lot of the mining folk that are just looking for a drink wouldn't be here taking up tables for people that are looking for food and all these things. I actually think it's a really good idea, Toblin, and I think you should go run that. I can stay here at the inn, and we can hire on a couple more people here. You hire on some people there, and it's easy. No complaints.
On that note, if it's all right, I had thought to maybe invite Jerry to play at the tavern once a week.
And Toblin kind of looks at you. I mean, I don't think Jerry'd have a problem with it. And Jerry's been getting a bit of a good response here, but this isn't always the necessarily place that people want to hear music over dinner. They're kind of trying to take their own conversations and whatnot. Having Jerry over at the tavern sounds like it makes a bit more sense. Dear, are you sure about this? Yes, Toblin. I think this is a good opportunity for you. It'll give us a leg up in town, and I think that this is not an opportunity we can pass by. Then she looks at you. What percentage of profits were you thinking?
Well, we were
smile on
gonna.
her face.
We thought we'd hash out the details later, maybe over some dinner. Haley is gonna come over in a little bit, and she said she would draft up some paperwork.
And as you say that, the sliding door opens and Haley is standing there. Well,
And
hello.
Anticipating your acceptance of the deal.
I prove, Toblin, Trilena, that the group here has given you the details sufficient. Are you ready to talk through the finer points of this, perhaps over some food? Very presumptuous. And Toblin and Trilena just kind of look at each other and look at you. You already thought we were just going to do this. And Haley kind
We
of
had confidence.
taps Toblin on the shoulder. I mean, Toblin, are you telling me that you didn't want to do this? I figured that you would be jumping at the opportunity and that this would be only a chance for you to gain more financial stability within this region, take care of your family better. There's really no downside for you, so I took the liberty of drawing up some paperwork so we can make this official. I have renovations I need to do if we're going to do this, and I would like to start those very quickly. There is money to be made, there's opportunity to be had, and quite frankly, we need this tavern to draw in more adventurers so we can take care more of jobs that need to be done around town. So if we could do this tonight, it would be in the benefit of everyone. And Toblin and Trilena just kind of look at each other. Trilena at this point is just smiling because she's
seeing the
Toblin,
dollar
I
signs.
think this has already been decided, Toblin. I don't think you really have too much of a say in the matter. And let's be honest, Toblin, you want to take this so badly. I can see you're chomping at the bit in your brain. You're just looking for me to give you the go-ahead. Just go ahead and do it. Toblin just kind of is staggered and kind of caught in a whirlwind between you and his wife and Halia, and is just kind of bug-eyed. You know what? You're right. I've always wanted to run a tavern. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Let's sit down and get the brass tacks. So everyone sits down around the table in the back, and he has the staff kind of bring out some food. There's again nice spread. You've got your meats. You've got what looks like some goat shanks and yummies. You've got some fresh kind of carrots and cucumbers that have been sliced up from the local garden there at the inn, and a couple heads of lettuce that have been chopped up finely. You additionally see some squash, good yummy vegetables, and then of course there's a big kind of carafe of mead just in the center of the table, and Halia starts the conversation about the finer details. Okay, so here's the deal. We need to take care of a couple things. One, the Miners Exchange, who had negotiated the sale/acquisition of this tavern by the Fist of Five, have now decided to call this the Five Finger Tavern. It will be a prominent place within the community. Toblin, you are going to be required to handle day-to-day operations, hirings, firings. You're going to need to manage food cost, drink costs. I assume that shouldn't be an issue for you. Toblin just looks at her. No, I think we have the ability to do all those things. I understand what comes with operations. And Halia continues, good. I think, something that would be fair in terms of profits divvying for you with keeping in mind all of those different costs would be somewhere in the area of, 25-30%. But it is, of course, up to the owners what percentage that they believe that you should get of the profits earned at the tavern. What say you? And she looks to you all.
Leif currently has his head in his hands and forgets that the drink in front of him isn't water and does take a drink of the good stuff,
Give me
having
a
not drank this
Constitution
before.
check.
You got a disadvantage on everything.
Yep.
um,
Exhaustion's a bitch.
okay, I luckily rolled a 22 and a 21.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Leif, as you take a drink of the good stuffs, you're just... And with all the pain happening in your body, you actually don't have an averse reaction to the good stuff. Much like Toblin claimed, you kind of feel warmth in your core that seems to kind of permeate up and through your throat into your face, and you feel kind of like life is being breathed into you again a little bit.
I'm gonna look at Leif and go, ah, and shake my flask a little bit and take a drink.
For all that is wrong with the Shadowfell, this shouldn't. It doesn't feel worse than earlier, so this is fine.
Oh, I think 30% sounds good to us, right, guys? I mean, he is running the day-to-day.
Trellin has just got a big smile on her face. She's just like nodding her head.
I mean, he's what, going to be handling everything? Look, I'm in no state to be doing this. I mean, if he's fine with 30%, I have no complaints. If he wants more, sure.
Yeah,
Just
maybe
gonna throw
you
a
should
thumbs up.
go to bed. You look tired.
He just kind of gives Bamir the look of, yes, thank you, Captain Obvious.
I mean, yeah.
Toblin just looks at you and he says, for managing this type of an operation, in terms of just profits, right? Because we're going to have cost that needs to be addressed. We're going to have, employee payroll that's going to have to be put in place.
Of course, this is the profits.
Yeah, I understand. That said, I think if I'm going to be taking on that type of work, without incurring the risk of the establishment as you are still the owner, I think 30% is fair. I think 30% is fair. Halia just agrees. All right, now that we've acquired 30%, and you can see her write that into the contract of the day, 30%. Now we need to come up with some additional details around different types of alcohols that we're going to have at this establishment. We need to establish schedules. We need to understand how many people we need to have here, here, and here. But we can handle those at another time. Now that we've understood percentage of profits, do you also want Toblin to have a percentage of ownership in the tavern?
I think that's probably fair. You know, how does 15% sound to everybody?
I mean, what? We currently own it 5 ways. Let's just have it 6 ways equal split. Sure.
Well, I mean, there's Drew, but
Look,
you know.
I'm clearly not in the state of the role.
Kodoruk is stuffing his face and just nodding his head. He's got meat in front of him. He doesn't care.
Let's just say 15%. That's a good number. I think what's 5, 6, or what is it? 12 and a half. Yeah, 15.
I was not expecting that you would offer me ownership in the tavern, but I will gladly take it. A little extra stake never hurt anyone. If we were to choose to sell it or expand the operation, that would definitely be more beneficial to all of us in the end, and I very much appreciate that. Thank you, Halia, for thinking of me. And Halia just kind of nods, standard business. And with that, I would humbly request that the Miners Exchange have an exclusive deal to handle the finances of the tavern. This is, of course, just in case that there are any kind of rival exchanges that might pop up as we continue to grow, or any official banks that might come into play. The Miners Exchange, for our services and our efforts and initial backings of this, would be honored if you would consider us the exclusive money managers of this establishment.
So, in other words, you want us to do all of our banking with you?
Correct.
We were already doing that. I think it goes without saying.
Well, mostly because there were, not mostly because there were no other businesses in town, or other banking establishments in town, but I think it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. You've been nothing but gracious with us, so that's fair.
All right. I will note that down. Thank you very much.
Leif, at hearing Halia say that, though, does kind of give a very small smile.
All right. I think that concludes all the major affairs. Details will be handled, of course, as we go. I will let you know, from a cost perspective, what it's going to take to further retrofit the tavern, which will, percentage-wise, need to come from you as the group to get this place renovated. The Miners Exchange did it once. Now that we're making additional alterations, we're going to need to have some additional resources come from you as the group. I hope you understand.
Of course.
Really?
I will let you know what that is probably within the next day or so, and we can continue moving on from there. I will set up multiple accounts. I will have an account set up for the food costs. There will be an account set up for employee costs, and then we will, of course, set one up as the main kind of repository for additional funds set up, and we will keep track of all the banking matters that go along with this. Anytime you need records, you just come by the Miners Exchange, and they will be supplied for you. How does that sound to everyone?
About that, actually, if you've got, if we had an account set up for the newly dubbed Fist of Phandalin, could we potentially just have some money stored there for the use around such things for our group? So we have come into some money, and one of the decisions we made was to set aside some of that for purchases and expenses that are useful to the group. If we could keep that with you for the time being, I think that would fit the need to pay for any renovations and such.
The Miners Exchange would be more than happy to set up an account for you as the group, the Fist of Phandalin. I can drop that paperwork separately. I would advise against you putting that into the tavern. Should something happen to the tavern and you lose those funds, they would not be guaranteed as part of your individual accounts. That said, I can certainly do that, and as part of you banking with the Miners Exchange, of course, all of those funds would be guaranteed and insured with us for the duration that it remains with us.
So we could just make 2 separate accounts then. One for the group and one for the business.
Correct.
Lovely.
And then any money that we need to supply for the initial renovations of the tavern can come out of that account.
Correct. We are currently working on a system to where you can, write some type of a writ of payment directed towards the exchange, and the exchange will then fulfill that as we do on a daily basis. That way you wouldn't have to walk around with your money, so to speak.
Halia,
Yes?
can I invest a portion of proceeds for investment into the Miners Exchange?
You would like to take a stake in the Miners Exchange?
Potentially.
That would need to be a private conversation between us, but I'm open to such a request.
Okay.
Is there
We can-
anything
we
else?
We can find some time to talk.
All right.
Well, here's if you think that paperwork can go through, here's our initial deposit. It's 315 gold and 1 silver.
As you plop that down, she takes it, slightly opens the bag, zips up the leather the leather strip around the bag to tighten it back up. She puts it into a satchel that she carries with her that has a rather interesting looking lock, a fairly ornate lock that goes on that bag, and pastes it in there. All right, I will take that as initial deposit, and we will get that account secured for you. I will put that under the Fist of Phandalin with all 5 of your names as executors on the account. Or did you also want me to add the Goblin Droop?
You can add Droop, I guess.
Don't we have to add Tobin at this point since he's going to be owner now?
No, this is
This is party funds.
the party
Oh.
funds.
Okay, so
Okay.
I don't want to have his name on that account because he's going to be paid via payroll via the proceeds of the tavern.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh, so Droop is going to work for us. Got it.
Are you
He's still a
all
member
in
of our party.
agreement?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I
Well,
believe
he
we
seemed
are.
very excited about all the stuff in the tavern, so maybe he'll be a good barkeep or something.
Tolan kind of pops up. I'd love to teach that little fella something.
Oh, good.
Well, with the way that he was looking at all of the drinks and whatnot behind the bar today, I think he might be very apt to learn.
Well, he is rather eager, much like my boy. And, I'm used to that energy. It'll be nice to have something like that motivated at the tavern. Hopefully we can make that work. It'll be a little awkward at first, till people get used to the fact that he's a goblin. But in time, I think it'll work out fine. Haley is just looking at you all like, okay. And if everybody's in agreement, then here are the documents for the ownership of the tavern, the percentage of profits, and again, the exclusivity of banking rights going to the Miners Exchange for this establishment here. And she starts passing it around for everyone to sign. And she looks specifically at Godoruk. And excuse me, blood will not be needed on this form. Thank you. Making some type of mark would be sufficient.
He goes to bite his thumb anyway, but realizes he has the gauntlets on and can't. And so he just signs.
What does Godorek's signature look like? I'm curious.
A really weird G. Just a G.
Like
All right.
the Disney G.
Yeah, that'll work.
His signature is G.
Good.
Leif
That's awesome.
not raise his
That's
hand. Just
good
cast
enough.
Mage Hand to sign.
Leif, as you go to cast Mage Hand, I want you to give me an Arcana check.
A 21 and a 12, so 12.
As you go to cast Mage Hand the first time, you do so, and the hand actually appears at the other end of the room. And it starts reaching at nothing and trying to sign the air. And you catch yourself and kind of poke your head up and recast it at the proper place, and it does create your signature, albeit a little rough looking compared to the previous time you signed.
The hand just disappears immediately and drops the quill. There. Signed. Let's hurry this up.
You can go if you want.
Yeah.
Now that you've
That's-
signed,
Give the person who looks like death to walk home.
Yeah,
Thanks for-
I think
I
we
mean,
should probably get
we
somebody to
can
walk it
get
in.
you. We can
Go to-
get you home.
I can carry him.
Goderic, yeah, Goderic, you've already signed, so would you mind taking him back?
I'm just gonna get up and go to pick Leif up and put him over my shoulder.
He's gonna like fire and carry.
Just straight in water.
What? You might be a little gentle.
They're just kind of like groans. Well, if I throw up, I'm not gonna feel sorry about this.
Leif, as Goderic goes to pick you up, literally every point that he is touching on your body is sore. And
Yeah.
you groan, "Oh!" as he picks you up. And Goderic, I need you to give me a dexterity check.
Dexterity check. Alright. 14.
You almost forget that you're wearing your new gauntlets of strength when you go to pick Leif up, and you squeeze his leg just a little too hard. Ah! And you inflict 2 damage on Leif.
Do that real quick.
And as he winces, and you pick him up, you seem to have disregard for the pain that you're inflicting upon his body as he is making horrible noises in front of you.
Go to be gentle.
Goderic, I'm going to cast Ice Knife if you keep doing this. Please don't kill me.
Maybe just
gonna take
help
you
him
there.
walk. Oh,
He's
jeez.
up here now. He's gonna start walking off.
Okay, I'm sorry, Leif.
Don't
Bang
feel
your head on
better.
the way out.
With
Feel better
every
soon.
step that Goderic takes, you just hear like,
Sleep it off, man. You'll be better in the morning, I hope. It looks like you're just exhausted.
and
Sorry.
he walks out.
What the hell happened to him?
I don't know, but he looks like shite.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we'll-
dear.
We'll have to
It's
talk to
Toblin.
him about that in the morning.
Yeah. Anyway, should we have a drink to celebrate this new arrangement?
I'm in agreement.
Halia looks, you know what, a drink sounds lovely. What do
Good
you
stuff.
have?
I'll take any, like a whiskey, maybe. I know I should be drinking the good stuff, but I don't think I can handle it without looking like Leif did.
Toblin goes and brings back a fine looking whiskey in or a whiskey that's in a finely ornate carved wooden flask. This is very different than something that you guys have seen before. It actually is kind of has his family crest is carved into it. It's fairly large, like almost the size of like a fifth of alcohol would be. And just all the edges are smoothly polished. It's a dark wood that has even kind of an inlay of what looks like either a silver or an ethereum kind of inlay into it. Just a very, very nice flask. And he comes in. This whiskey's been aged for 30 years. We only bring it out for seriously special occasions, and I think tonight not only marks a cementing of a partnership and a growing friendship, but also an incredibly amazing opportunity for all of us to continue to grow Phandalin and to grow our pocketbooks as well. And for the first time, you kind of see Toblin has like a gleam in his eye. You can see that hunger of an entrepreneur within him that you never really get to see because he's constantly just running his in ragged, right? And now you can see that he has that fire that you were hoping for when you decided to bring him into this deal. And I think it gives you a little confidence that he's going to do a very good job in making the Five Finger Tavern rise above and beyond its potential. And with that, he pours, basically shots for everyone.
I'll take one.
To the Five Finger Tavern.
To the Five Finger Tavern.
And to you, my friends.
And you as well.
Everybody drinks.
Adventures.
You look over at Halia. Halia looks at it, brings it up to her nose, smells, chucks it back.
Now this is the really good stuff.
That is a smooth whiskey, Toblin.
I'm gonna chase it with a drink out of my flask.
Are you serious? This stuff is wasted on you.
Halia looks over at you, Ashin. Master Ashin, what is in that bottle?
I'm just gonna offer it to her.
She looks at it, smells it. Her eyes kind of open up wide. She pours some into her shot glass, puts it down, takes it, rocks it back, kind of cocks her head to the side. You hear her swallow. Stands up. That's some good stuff. I will process these papers and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good evening.
Good night.
She is one tough lady.
Good night, Halia.
Good night. She kind of collects herself and just walks out with a very straight back and purpose, as Halia often does. So now you're left there with Trelena and Toblin.
I'm gonna offer my hand to shake Toblin's hand and Telena's.
And they shake in kind.
Yep.
To a prosperous future.
We all get up and shake.
To a prosperous future indeed.
Well, I get up and shake too. But
Now, I would
Our
apologize. I
apologies.
think we've been away from the inn for a bit too long. Although
that's
for
all right.
the
I
best
need
of
to-
reasons.
I need to make a stop.
All right. Like I said, if anything is needed, let me know. I'll be over to the tavern first thing tomorrow morning, and we can start working out particulars.
Sure.
I mean, sure. We could talk about it, but I'm pretty sure we're going to leave most of everything into your capable hands, so.
Oh, aye. Just small things. Promise.
Gotcha.
And Toblin walks out with Trelena, and they go back to manning the inn.
Asteria, would you care to join us?
Sure.
Oh, the thing you were talking about?
That is
what are we-
correct.
What are we doing?
I have no idea. He hasn't said a word.
Come with me.
Where are we going?
I'm gonna make my way out. Well, the back door of the tavern.
In?
Of the inn.
Yeah, the inn.
You see that night has fallen. The air is nice and crisp and cool, but not too cold. And it's just you three.
I'm gonna lead the way over towards what I hope is the still fully lit smithy.
You can see the light on the forge is dim, and the smithy appears to be done for the day. You don't hear the familiar ringing of the hammer on the anvil.
Shite.
Did you need something from the blacksmith at night, or?
I wanted to check on something, and I wanted you to see it.
Oh,
I think it's a bit late.
yeah.
You guys want to come with me in the morning?
To
I'll
the
come with you in the morning.
blacksmith shop.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I'll be out on after my meditation. I'll be out on the green training. So when you get up, Amir, at first light, if you just want to meet me out there, we'll go see if he's started for the day.
Okay.
And I am gonna make my way towards the green.
All right. See ya. Bye.
I don't sleep in a bed.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh crap! Actually, I need to come back to the tavern.
Mimir's going to head towards the town hall.
I will follow Bamir.
This gets creepier.
Sheen, you start to walk off and you see Bamir making his way to the town hall, and you're just like, and change patterns and start walking after him. Bamir, you hear the footsteps coming up behind you.
Yeah, but if he turned to look for me, he wouldn't be able to see me because it's dark.
It's well lit on the streets. If you're back on the street, he can see you.
That makes it worse.
Amir, hold on. I'll walk with you.
What? I thought. Okay. Look.
We're going to check on Rydoth, right? To see if he got moved.
I was gonna go check on Rydoth. Yes.
Yep. Okay, good idea. I'll come with you.
Okay. Look, you're weirding me out a little, man. I'll be honest with you. Like, can we go meet somewhere? Can I take you to a place that's not open? I'm just putting it out there. You know, maybe you want to be a little more upfront with what's going on. The whole man of mystery thing is giving me a little bit of.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna politely stop him for a second in the street before we get to the town hall. Okay, so I hired the blacksmith. I commissioned him to create a gift for Goderic.
Oh, well, that's easy.
All
Why
the
didn't you
things
say
that
that?
all the things you saw me collecting, the eyes and the hand bones and various skins.
Yeah, all the
are
creepy stuff.
Mm-hmm. So I'm having the blacksmith forge a great sword for Goderic with those bones and that eye imbued into the sword as decor.
Okay.
And I know that's not really your thing, right? Like I understand, but like he and I come from like a similar walk of life, being out in the wilds. So my thought is, I had initially thought to present this gift to him from me to him. But we're a group. We're a party. We're becoming friends. And I have kind of noticed that he maybe feels a little off-put because one of these is not like the other kind of thing. And I want to make him feel like he's a welcome member completely. And that we value him more than perhaps we say.
Well, I mean, that's great, but I'm not sure I want to give somebody something that has an eyeball on it. And
Sure,
I'm not
but
sure.
it's not.
Like, I know Goderic likes weapons. I mean, that sounds great.
The weapon is crafted from things that I know that he would appreciate. So it's
Okay.
not so much about me, even though I appreciate it because I do. But I wanted it to be something that he would appreciate.
I mean, that's
Even if he never swings it in battle and it's just something that he puts on a mantle.
Amir, think of it like a trophy. It will be a trophy because he has taken part in killing all these things. And you also have to be in mind, it's Goderic.
I mean, I agree.
he's-
I think it's a great gift. I just don't look. I feel great. I feel honored that you've asked me to be part of this, but these are things that you've collected for this purpose. And I don't want to diminish your effort by
But
tagging on to it.
You had effort there as well. Like, I may have collected these things, but we were all there when these things took place, and I feel like everybody has a piece in it, right? So if there's something that you would like to contribute, I was thinking maybe we could talk to the blacksmith and you could contribute something to the sword.
Oh, well,
Whether it's a lyric, you could maybe have it etched onto the blade, or, I mean, anything.
I'll give it some thought.
I still have to talk to Leif and Droop.
You
But-
might want to wait till tomorrow.
I'm going to talk with them tomorrow. So maybe it's a good thing that the blacksmith was closed.
Yeah, when did you commission this?
Before we went to the cave. So I know that it's not, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be ready yet. But if we can, like, it's early enough in the project that we'd be able to, like, add some, I would hope, some things to it.
I would think so. So we should probably get on it pretty quickly because, you know, once you make something, it's hard to go back when you're blacksmithing.
Right. Well, at least, like, yeah, you're absolutely correct. Although I'm not a blacksmith, so I don't have the most knowledge in that aspect. That's why I
No,
commissioned
I'm
the
not a blacksmith either, but you know, you learn a few things here and there. Being a city folk.
So, also, I've had a couple of conversations with Master Adameth regarding the mark that's on my wrist, and he's giving me some very sage advice on kind of how to handle the choice that I really need to be making. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today.
That's good to hear. Well, we've only known each other a couple weeks, right? But I mean, I think that we've fought together, and we've had each other's back. And if you need somebody else to have your back when it comes to this arm tattoo sigil thing, then, you know, count me in.
I appreciate that.
And, you know, if it prevents you from trying to punch me in the face, all the better.
I am sorry about that, by the way. I'm sorry.
I know, man.
Okay, let's
all
go check
good.
on Rydoth and Master Ettermath.
Yeah.
So, as you make your way down the street to the Townmaster's Hall and you open the door, you see that there's no one there.
Oh, good. They moved him.
All right. Great. Well, let's head back to the tavern then.
Let's go home.
Home. As you make your way down the street towards the Five Finger Tavern, you can see that there are already people outside starting to work on some of the exteriors of the building. The sign is being taken down, and it appears that there's just some finery going on. As you walk in, you can see.
Jeez.
Oh, wait. Hey,
Yep, go for it.
people. Out here, outside. Hey, we
Oh,
have
yeah?
a
Oh.
gravely injured man inside trying to rest. So please
Oh.
come back in the morning.
Haley told us to start working as soon as we could, so we're just trying to get the sign down.
If you can,
and,
if you can
work on
keep
some
it quiet,
trim.
if you can keep it quiet, then that's fine.
Yeah, we're
But-
just trying to work on some of the stain on the wood, and the sign here shouldn't be causing a ruckus. If you notice anything, just let us
Sure.
know. We'll be happy to come back tomorrow. I
Yeah,
don't
if
like
you-
to upset Miss Haley. She's a bit
I
of a-
completely understand.
bit of a tough cookie, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, okay. If you can keep it quiet, that's great. But if you're making a bunch of chatter, I'm sending the half-orc out here.
Oh, yeah, we saw him come by with a groaning guy earlier. He seemed like he was
Yeah,
not having a
different
good
problem.
day.
But yeah, we should go inside and let these people get back to work so they can finish quicker. Right?
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Have a good night, Six. Appreciate you.
Fist of Phandalin.
You're gonna fist me now?
No, we're the Fist of Phandalin. It's not about fisting. Okay. Fist of
what?
Phandalin.
Hey, guy. Fuck around if you want to fight.
Like, we're going inside.
I didn't mean no disrespect. I'm
Christine,
just trying to
come on
understand.
in. Come on. We're going inside.
Syria's just gonna push them both inside. Like, just go.
Yeah.
Just go.
All right, not fist.
Fist of Phandalin. Yep. Great.
Has Godoruk gotten laced?
As you slowly, as the door starts to
Yes.
shut behind you guys, as you go in, you hear the guy from outside. Oh, 5 finger fist! I get it. And the door shuts.
You're gonna make us regret going with that name.
I don't regret it. No regrets.
The DM can have fun too. All right, as you walk in, you see that the tavern is quiet and dimly lit. It looks like Droop has kind of lit a few of the kind of sconces along the walls, and it just has a very warm feel to the inside of the tavern. And he comes over to greet you. Godoruk took Leif upstairs. Leif looked bad. What did you do to him? Is he okay?
Do anything to him, Droop.
He
Looks
he's
like
probably-
he got thorn ripped and mauled by a bear.
Wasn't me.
did he look mauled? I thought he just was tired looking.
I mean, he was making really bad noise.
What did Godoruk do?
I don't know.
All right. Did they bring Rydoth here?
Yeah. Guy with ice arm. Yeah, he's upstairs in Master Ashin's room.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go check on him and Leif. All right.
Also, did you guys know there's this really tasty drink under the bar? I found a bunch of them. They're so yummy.
You like those?
Oh, so good.
Yeah, maybe
tasty.
don't drink a whole lot of them because
Yeah, I didn't
they'll
eat
make you.
so much. It's just yummy. That's all.
I'm
You're
gonna
stay here, right?
I'm gonna like stealthily reach the flask out to Droop.
Oh my god!
What's this?
He takes a swig.
You're gonna.
What I do?
Like, it's okay. It's okay, Droop.
Eyes are on fire.
He does this to everybody he meets. Okay, he's sorry.
I take the flask back and I take a
Droop
swig.
literally like falls to the floor and is like curled in on himself.
Why do you do this to people? Why are you like this? He was just minding his own business, and then you had to give him some of the good stuff.
Well, it is excellent. Thank you. So
Droop's just writhing on the floor.
Droop, hold on, Droop. Yeah, this is the good stuff. And
Yeah.
it will put hair on your chest. Just take a deep
Don't-
breath.
Just, it's okay, Droop. You'll be okay.
Take a
He'll
deep
be
breath.
over soon. Yeah. Demir gives him some of his water skin.
He just like snatches it out of the air and just like.
Stop the burning. Please never give that to me again. That was awful.
And with
But
that,
you're awake, aren't you?
the puppy has decided that we are going to take a short break.
Awesome.
So, if you guys are here, don't go anywhere yet. We're going to keep on going. I just got to go take the dog out. Short break, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying. If you're new, don't forget to hit the follow button. Carner, what up? How are you doing? And I'll be right back.
And if you're enjoying the session tonight and haven't already,
KO.
make sure you check out the YouTube channel that Gage is linking in the chat right now, where you can see every episode of our progress through the last module we did, which was the Lost Mines of Phandelver, which you might have guessed if you are familiar with it, since we're in the town of Phandelver, or, Phandalin, which used to anyway.
And you can also check out his vlogs for each of the sessions that he does for his new DM mods. If you're interested in the experience of someone who's doing a DM this the first time.
So, would anybody else like a drink of the good stuff?
No.
Oh.
I would love.
Apparently it doesn't affect Leif, but he's also been lit on fire on the outside and inside, so apparently this is that bad too. Yeah, I was definitely being like, I really hope that night RPs go to trying to put Leif to bed.
Thump!
Just gonna, it's
I
like,
really want that. I think that'd be funny.
yeah, onto the bed.
Bangs his head on the door and on the banister on the way upstairs, and
Leif has a 1 hit point by the time he gets to
okay, you'll be back to 16 in the morning.
Bodies. Just bodies.
No, you'll be
around
full health in the morning.
Yep.
Yes, I'll be full health because the effect will be gone. Luckily.
Yay.
Just gonna
Well, at
body
least
slam him into
part
the
of
bed.
it.
Still disadvantage on everything.
Oh yeah,
Still disadvantage on everything.
And he's like, make a con save. Oh, make an Arcana check. I'm like, God, dude, stop.
You gotta feel it, man. You gotta feel it.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely, the exhaustion thing is fantastic. I'm glad that we got to incorporate it because I honestly figured we just would never use exhaustion. Because I feel like it's kind of hard to do in a campaign setting like this. I feel like it's more of like a survival setting.
It
Or like
can be.
where someone doesn't affect you, like a magic effect.
Yeah,
like this.
there are effects that give you
Yep.
exhaustion. So
Also, like, I've seen where, like, there's been like one thing after another, where parties haven't really been able to like take a long rest.
Yeah.
And that's where that exhaustion sets in.
Yeah. Like if you have to do a lot of traveling over time,
Like if you were to maybe
like if
travel
you're
in
trying-
the Underdark.
if you're trying to like get somewhere really
Fast.
quickly,
Yeah.
you can push yourself into exhaustion.
Or like you're in an unsafe place all the time, like the Underdark. Or maybe the
Yeah.
Shadowfell.
Yeah.
Or the Feywilds.
Good times.
Or
Yeah.
Godoric's homeland.
I don't know about that.
What is Godoric's homeland?
Godoric doesn't know.
Okay, cool.
Probably not. Well, I'm just assuming. But
Canada.
yeah, Canada.
All Godoric knows to this point is they lived in a secluded area in a cabin, and that's it.
Canada.
So yeah,
Yeah, that
sounds like
could've been
Canada.
Could have been Canada.
Our Canadian half-orc.
Oh, Canada.
Riding
So-
a moose in the battle.
So he
That
likes.
would be great.
No, he rides a bear. So, so
Moose bear.
Bears. Bears.
and he likes poutine and maple syrup.
I mean, who doesn't?
This is true. I really want some poutine now.
I had
Never had
poutine
poutine.
once, and
It's French fries with gravy and cheese
it was
curds.
so bad. But I think that the place I went to just makes terrible poutine.
Look, he's ours for the night, okay?
You can have them tomorrow.
Yeah, she lives in the middle of nowhere.
Northern Canada.
So, like, north of the Arctic Circle? The polar regions.
I'm getting my
Did-
damn handprint.
Or
on the
Kansas.
freaking tavern.
Gage,
One
were
way
you
or
drinking
another.
chocolate milk earlier?
Yes.
Awesome!
It's just almond milk that I had put a little bit of chocolate syrup in.
I don't know if I could do the almond milk. I've tried it. It's
I can't do most other milks, so
Are you- okay.
that's why.
Not
not like physically. No, I just don't like other milks.
Okay.
I hate coconut milk. Soy milk is I'm not a huge fan of. And regular milk I also don't like. So, I mean, I do use like regular milk and stuff, and very rarely coconut milk for like cooking. But
Do you put almond milk in your cereal?
Yeah, I go through like a gallon of milk every week or so.
Let's not talk about how much milk this house consumes.
You don't
Oh,
know.
when me and my dad and my brother were living together, we would go through 3 gallons of milk a week.
That sounds about right.
1 gallon each.
Yep.
Mm.
Funny. You know, I just don't like the taste of most other milks, but I also don't like a lot of other kind of like dairies either. Like most cheeses, I'm not a huge fan of.
So,
So
hey, how
Ooh,
much does milk
cheese.
cost?
I have cheese. I'll be right back. Well,
All right,
what?
DM
I
is
just
back.
got back.
do you want to go get some
No,
cheese real quick, Kat? You got a minute?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
All right. And we're back.
It's
Alright.
late. I should eat cheese now anyway.
Okay. And we're back.
Welcome back.
We are currently exploring the tavern. Leif, did you want to talk about your experience with Godoruk
I
being
think
brought
it'd be
back to the
fun.
tavern?
I think it'd be fun.
Bang.
If you'd like to.
So, a minute back in time, or so, or 10, Leif was escorted out of the Stonehill Inn by Godoruk. Godoruk, as you exited the inn and kind of back onto the street towards the now 5-Finger Tavern. Leif is constantly moaning and groaning with every step that you take.
Hearing his moans and groans, I'm gonna pat him on the back and tell him it's gonna be okay.
Oh dear God, why did we give you those gloves?
Give me a dexterity check.
It was your idea.
Yeah.
A 3, not 1.
Not realizing once again that you are physically hurting Leif every time that you touch him, Leif will once again take 2 damage.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you heard a rib pop when he patted you on the back.
Godorok, dear God, just get me to bed and stop touching me.
Oh, okay. And he's gonna start kind of jogging, not full on running, but definitely power walking.
The
Just
sounds-
take 2 more
Step
damage.
fast. He wants to
Just
get to
take
bed.
2 more damage.
All I see,
He wants
all I
to
see
get to bed.
is Godorok like full power walk, like arm swing, hip swing at the same time, just.
like an Olympic power walker.
He's a man on a mission.
You know what? In his power walk mode, I want you to give me an athletics check, Godorok.
God.
Oh, this one might turn out well.
At least he doesn't have
At
disadvantage.
least he gets a strength bonus for this one with the gloves.
How? Another nat 1, but 8. I'm a +7.
Godorok, as you begin to power walk, as you are paranoid that you are going to kill Leif if you continue to hold him much longer, you start off really strong and you've got a good like hip wiggle going. Like it just you're smooth as glass. Leif is literally not moving on your shoulder. And you get about 10 steps in, and just as you hit that confident stride, you hit a loose brick in the road and it throws off your rhythm. And not only does Leif kind of like bounce up on your shoulder, you're not able to regain that same rhythm as you make your way back to the tavern, and you just hear Leif the rest of the way to the tavern.
More damage.
No, we'll keep you alive at this point. It's fine.
I mean, I still have 12 hit points. You've got some more to work with.
I'm gonna get him upstairs and just plop him into bed. Just no gentle laying down, just there.
As
There you go.
Godorok throws Leif in the bed, essentially, he casts Featherfall to not just take anything.
At disadvantage?
I want you to give me a Constitution save, Leif.
Okay. That's disadvantage. Okay, that's a 24 and 2 24s.
Luckily for you, when Godorok foists you onto your bed, right as you're about to make contact, Featherfall catches you, and your body literally just goes from swinging extremely quickly and just hovers and lowers you onto the bed. And you kind of just gingerly sink into the mattress. And Godorok looks like, what the
Kind of closes my eyes for a second. Godorok, thank you for taking me to bed.
Can you cast sleep on yourself?
Thanks for getting me here. Dear God, I wish I did not give you those gloves.
I don't know why I like him.
Clearly, just next time use them for not me.
Alright. You're just gonna walk out. Good night.
As we jump forward in time, Godorok, you have made your way to your room and shut the door. Is there anything special that you're doing with your downtime this evening before you go to bed?
He's just gonna play around with the feeling of having these gloves on. That's pretty much it.
Don't do that inside.
just gonna like work out and stuff.
As you walk in the tavern, the rest of you, you can hear these like not so soft thuds coming from the upstairs. You didn't notice them initially because you were talking to Droop, and then he was writhing on the floor in agony as you gave him alcohol that he wasn't ready to accept into his system, the poor little guy. But then all of a sudden you notice this like thudding, just like little soft grunts. And then you hear kind of more of a bigger crash coming from Godoric's room.
Alright. Pamir's gonna go upstairs and knock on the door of Godoric's room.
Godoric is gonna walk over to the door and just swing that door open.
Godoric, the sound that alerted everyone was you lifting up your bed with one hand and then dropping it because you didn't realize that you were going to be able to do that, and you were so shocked by the fact that you did that you then fumbled it because the weight wasn't distributed right, and you dropped your bed.
Like,
Bed's fine. Floor's fine.
you're
Just made lots of noise.
making lots of noise. We just told the people out front to stay quiet because, Rydoth is here, and I'm assuming that you got Leif to bed and he needs to sleep well. So I don't know what you were doing in here. That's whatever a man does behind the closed door is fine. None of my business. But if you could do it more quietly, or wait till tomorrow, it would be appreciated.
Look at him a little quizzically because he doesn't really know what he's talking about, but
We heard
All right.
banging. We heard banging and a loud crash.
oh, that was my bed.
Your bed's broken. Is there something wrong with your bed?
He's gonna walk over and pick it up again to show him.
What the?
My-
Are you playing with your gauntlets again?
Not playing.
Look,
trying
if
them out.
if you keep playing with your gauntlets, we're gonna have to take them away and not give them back until the morning. Okay?
I'd like to see you try.
Fair point. Just try and keep it down, okay? We've got injured people here. We're trying to rest.
All right. He's gonna put the bed down
Quietly.
gently. Attempt to do it gently, at least.
Give me a dex check.
Oh God! Don't do me like this again. Okay, it's an 18.
Oh, good.
You're able this time to manage the weight distribution of the bed and lower it down slowly and quietly. Though when you do lower it down onto the ground, you do hear Leif from the next room.
Is he gonna be okay in there?
I'm sure he'll be fine in the morning if he gets some sleep.
All right. Sounds
All right. Good talk. Good night. I'm going to go check on Rydoth.
Anything else you're going to do before bed, Godoric?
No, it's bedtime.
All right. Amir, you make your way down the hall to where Ashin's room would normally be. And you see the door is cracked open.
I knock on it softly.
As you do, the door kind of slowly opens up on its own.
I'm
And
gonna follow him up.
you see Edermath just sitting next to the bed, kind of propped up against the wall and asleep.
All right. Quietly, trying to not wake up Edermath, Bamir is going to cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level on Rydoth.
Give me a stealth check first.
That's an 8 because I rolled a 1.
As you make your way over to the bed, you kind of kneel down next to Rydoth, and you're kind of looking at the bandages, and you can see where there still seems to be some kind of seepage from these wounds trying to heal themselves, but they're still very much open. And as you kneel down, you actually kneel on top of Edermath's foot. And he's like, oh, hello there.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to wake you.
It's okay, Bamir. I must have dozed off. What are you doing?
I was gonna cast some healing on Rydoth here.
Oh, please do. I've spent my magic for the day, and so has Master Ashin. Please, anything to help my friend Rydoth.
Sure. Would you like me to lay out a bedroll here for you, or would you like to go home for the night?
That's okay. I'll make my way home eventually. I just wanted to make sure that he got here okay. I must have slumbered. He'll be fine.
And Edermath kind of gets up, and he looks around, and he sees his teapot that has been emptied by him basically throughout the day. And he grabs his teapot and kind of hooks it onto his belt and starts to walk out of the room as you move your hands over Rydoth and start to cast Cure Wounds. Edermath kind of looks back.
There is much of me that wishes that I were a bit younger and we could adventure together a bit more. I am growing very fond of you all, and I appreciate your care of Rydoth. I know you've known him only a short time, and as such have no need to care for him this way. But I appreciate you both.
And he looks up at you, Ashin, and then back at you, Bamir, and
I will take my leave.
He looks at Ashin.
See you on the green in the morning?
Well, if I'm not needed here at the tavern, I'll walk you back to your home, and then I'll spend the evening in the green.
Ashin, give me a medicine check.
3.
You peek in, kind of concerned for Rydoth, just wanting to again, just see how everything was going. And from what you can see, Rydoth is looking fine, and you don't seem to have any concern, especially with Bamir. They're, casting healing on him that he'll be in any kind of a rough shape. And so you feel very, very comfortable in walking Edermath home.
As I make my way back downstairs, I'm gonna look at Asteria and be like, if you'd like to meditate with me out on the green tonight, I would welcome the company, but you might also poke in upstairs and see if Bamir needs any help. He's casting some healing magic right now.
I'll meet you on the green eventually.
Okay.
Asteria's gonna go upstairs and see if she can offer any aid in healing, maybe even cast an extra healing spell on Rydoth.
Sure. Stairs. You make your way up the stairs and you enter the room. You see Bamir kind of at the tail end of his spell, and the last of the magic kind of leaving his hands. You can see the wounds on the chest of Rydoth really are 90% closed, and really they look more like kind of knife cuts as opposed to claw gashes that they had been before. And you see the mark on his leg, and that it seems a bit bigger, and you go to try and apply healing there. Bamir, again, you finish up just as Asteria gets up there.
Oh. Oh, hi, Asteria. I'm just about done here. So, you said those wounds were still open?
Very slightly.
Well, then I'll cast it again.
She was going to cast healing at the cure wounds at 3rd level on him.
Too late. I already did it.
Listen here.
Asteria, you're able to
Roll
kneel.
initiative.
You're next to kneel next to Bamir.
Wild shape, bear form.
You kneel down next to Bamir and see that there is this large gash on the legs of Raidoth that is still, a decent open wound. And you apply your cure wounds to his legs, while Bamir, you once again apply cure wounds to his chest. And over the course of this healing, you can see that the wounds on his chest start to close up. But even though there's kind of additional power that you've put into the spell, the scars still remain where normally they would not. And Asteria, you notice something similar as the leg wound kind of begins to heal itself, but the marks from the incisions don't seem to be fading. But he is healed.
I hope so.
Permanent reminders of his encounter with whatever he encountered.
Well, it's not perfect with a wound that deep. Yes, magic can only go so far.
After we're done healing Raidoth, she will go make her way out to Ashin.
Oh, thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
Keep an eye on Ashin.
Just gotta keep going.
Bamir, you're able to retire to your room there at the inn. Do you have anything that you're going to do?
I was going to check on Leif first.
Asteria, you head downstairs, and I will catch up with you in a second. Bamir, you then peek in on Leif.
I just want to make sure that he's asleep.
No. It hurts like hell.
Well, I will. I don't really have anything I can help you do. I was hoping I had lesser restoration or something, but I don't.
That's why I haven't said
So
anything
I'll just
either.
cast a little bit of Cure Wounds to heal the damage that Goderic did. And
Just to let you know, that's all you can do.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
So up to 16 again.
Yeah.
When Bamir does this, it kind of just gives him like a quirked eyebrow. How's
Leif-
Raidoth?
Leif, as you feel the wounds actually begin to heal, you feel that rib pop into place.
Okay.
You feel only momentary relief until the sharp twinge and pain of those bones resetting kind of continues to remind you of the poor state that you're in.
Okay, it doesn't look like. Well, you asked about Rydoff. We were able to close his wounds, but he's still not waking up. That ice needs to be removed at some point, but I was hoping that you were going to be able to get some rest.
Yeah, I'll probably fall asleep from passing out in pain eventually, but the ice thing, oh god, it'll take care of itself. That's not the word I wanted to use. The reason why I'm like this, yeah, the ice thing will be figured out probably tomorrow or the next day.
Are you saying that you took on this pain to help Rydoff?
Just a little bit.
Well, Bamir goes to pat you on the shoulder and then stops short.
Like visibly tenses up as you go to do that.
I will see you in the morning.
As Bamir goes to leave after that, you just, hey Bamir.
Yeah.
Remember the whole I could shoot Eldritch Blast and things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fighting?
Yeah. I can't do that anymore.
What happened?
Just to not bore you with the details.
I'm a bard. Details are kind of my thing.
Oh, that's right. And you went to college for lore. I guess I can't bore you with the details, can I?
Believe me.
First, laugh a bit. Well, when we were at the Elanines and when I picked up a sword, well, a patron came to me from the Shadowfell.
Okay.
And I make deals with things I shouldn't, as we've established.
Well, you were casting warlock spells, so I had assumed that something else like that had occurred.
Yeah, just didn't really. I know I mentioned it with the spiders, but yeah, it kind of talked to my patron. They're not going anywhere, but it looks like they used the powers of a hexblade. They took that away, and instead lit my insides on fire.
Why?
Basically, they said after I rest, which I, for once, am having a little bit of trouble believing them, that I will be able just to use my magic again as normal, but I won't have the same powers as before. It'll just be... I've been connected to Shadowfell for a while, as you may have seen with some of the magic I do, and why I literally feel like ice when you touch me. But I think after sometime tonight, the part of my magic that's tied to the Shadowfell will be what's going to be prominent, and not so much the powers I had before.
Is that a good thing?
Oh dear God, that hurt. Yeah, let's hope.
I hope so too. Wow, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever read or heard anything like that before. Usually when a patron is chosen, they stay the same. I've never seen anything like this
Well,
or heard of anything like this.
yeah. Best case, we're fine from now on out, other than the payment they asked for, which isn't
Wait,
gold.
this wasn't the payment?
Oh no, no, I think this was for fun.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know what I can do to help, but if there's any way that I can, let me know. I don't, yeah, okay. Well, hopefully, you feel better in the morning.
That's the plan. And anyway, thanks for listening. I've been trying to be better about talking. The Shadowfell corrupted me thing. Talked to Asteria a little bit about it, but don't really have many other people in my life, and maybe I should start trying to instead of just wandering about.
Well, I mean, you've had us for the last couple weeks, so there's that. And looks like we've now contractually obligated to work together for this tavern at least, so...
Yeah,
but...
kind of stuck with you for that. Godork even signed in blood.
Well, tried to. His gauntlets are a problem. Hopefully he gets used to them pretty soon.
Dear God, I hope so.
Just want to remind you not to burden you anymore, but this was your idea to give them to him. Not that we wouldn't have anyway, but yeah.
Well, next time they probably won't be on me.
Yeah, well. All right, get some rest. Try to, at least.
Yeah, I'll pass out from pain eventually. Have a good night.
Well, yeah. You too. Well, yeah. Good night.
And as he leaves, he casts Whisper in Elvish. Thanks.
Anytime.
I'll give you that one as a freebie. Vamir, you leave Sarum, and then what do you do?
Now I go to bed.
Is there anything else you want to do before you go to bed?
I don't think I have anything else to identify, so no.
Okay. Asteria, you made your way downstairs. You notice there's still a droop lying in the middle of the floor, seemingly passed out after having drank some water. In fact, the flask of water that Bamir had given him is kind of sitting next to him, and it's kind of poured out over around his head.
Droop have his own room?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does.
Well,
It's a very
she'll
small
pick
room
him-
at the end of the hall at the top of the stairs, but it's a room.
She'll pick him up and put him in his bed before she makes her way to the green.
And you do. You tuck his little goblin body into his little corner of the tavern, and you make your way out. Again, it's getting later on in the evening at this point. Not quite midnight. You look up, you see the moon is high in the night sky. And you make your way out to the green, where Ashin is sitting there.
Shooting at a target.
Dunk.
I thought you were supposed to be meditating.
I was waiting for you.
Okay. Well, she'll sit down on the ground, and she wants to focus her meditation on remembering the ointment that she saw used in her time in the Feywild to help Rydoth with the rest of his ailment. And that's what she will do. She will start meditating.
I'm gonna sit down behind her with my back against hers and just put my bow across my lap and meditate for the next 4 hours.
Asteria, as you kind of gather yourself and kind of start to center yourself for meditation, and you close your eyes and you hang your head and really start to think on those times back in the Feywild where you had seen various creatures with elemental abilities of different courts having afflicted members of your court. And you reach out to Sehanine in your mind.
Asteria, I hear you, child. What do you need of me?
There is a druid here that has aided us, and he is afflicted with an ice element that I remember seeing back in the Feywild. And I remembered we did use an ointment, but I can't remember what was in it to be able to help him.
Is this an elemental affliction?
It is said to be from a dragon.
Dragon magic is peculiar and special and often unique. There are some things we can do and some that we cannot. Unfortunately, the remedies that we have for these elemental afflictions are unique to the Feywild, as you are effectively not here. The beasts that you would need to gather ingredients from are not at your disposal. And I am sorry, but there are no known replacements in the mortal realm. If you could come to the Fae, if you could come back to us, there might be a chance that you would find something.
I would love to return home someday, but I feel like there's more to do here. And the people I travel with, they wouldn't be able to follow me. It would have very bad effects on them.
Grown attached to these, have you?
I have.
Oh, dear girl. Remember your roots always, and take us with you. May the moon bless you, and the summer always shine warm. I'll leave you with this. If it is a dragon that has done the damage, it is also a dragon that can reverse the damage. That is one of their unique magical properties. I hope that helps. Be well.
And you feel the moon light embrace you, and it's almost tangible around your body. And as you open your eyes, you can almost see this veil of light around you kind of lifting and going back up to the moon. And you feel kind of an overwhelming calm at the presence of Sehanine.
Do I notice in my trance state?
You do not.
He's special. She's just going to continue resting for the rest of the evening.
It's almost like
Everybody
because
else
of her
is sleeping.
faded. It's for her. It's like because of her connection to the Fae, she's able to see and experience these things that you are not.
Okay.
Ashin, as you awake from your meditation, it's still very, very early in the morning. The sun has not yet risen, and you see that Asteria is still somewhat in her trance state. Give me a perception check.
24.
As you're kind of looking around and extending your hearing, yourself into the area around you, trying to just kind of become more one with the area, you begin to sense the wind change. Not just a pressure, but the entire wind. A cold chill comes upon you, and flying fairly low in the sky and very fast, you hear whoom, 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 whoom. And you see, as you look up, the shadow of a dragon pass over you from the forest, heading towards the mountains. And we'll pick it up next time.